They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ain't on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to, I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he started talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yana Van Zam's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see. Can I see? Hit me up in my DMs, and I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy. Well, hello, people. Hello. How the hell are you? How is everyone today? How is everyone doing? I am here. Yesterday I tried to say I was here for y'all. Really, I'm here for myself today. I need y'all to help me keep my mind good. Help me keep my sanity. I got a lot going on. Those of you in the members only chat know my mind has been all over the place. So I need y'all today. I said no. I almost didn't go live, but I said no. I'm gonna go live so I can talk to my people, and my people can put my mind and brain in a good place. So I am here, not for y'all, for me. Okay, so I need y'all. I need y'all to do what y'all do. Y'all ain't even got to do nothing special. Y'all just need to be y'all. As long as y'all can be y'all, we gonna be good. Okay? If y'all can just do what y'all do and be y'all authentic self, we be good. But we are gonna have a shortened. We're not. Well, I say that now, and then we'll be on here the whole time. The dossier is purposely not packed. I don't have a lot. I did want to come on here to talk to y'all, but my plan was not to be here to my normal 6:45 time, because I really want to be able to, go make sure I check on everybody and it is back home and is following everything. Um, um, hold on one second. I'm just posting this on Instagram and stuff. Okay. So there we go. Let me post this on YouTube. But I definitely know that it is not my intention or my plan to be here till our normal 6:45 time. That's not my plan. I purposely made a light dossier so that I could get through it and get back to monitoring everything, making sure I'm checking on my people and stuff like that. Let me say hey to y'all. Mm. Mm. Hey, Diamond Pearl Jim. Hey, Tracy W. Thank you, my love. Tracy C, what's going on? Lock Queen, what's going on, my love? Cassandra. Tanya, hey, boo. I got to make sure I got go get a haircut. So when I go see Tanya later this weekend, I'll be looking right. Hey, Nessa. Nessa, you okay down there? Everything good with you? I'm back home, Nessa. Just checking on you, boo. Hey, Quake. Volvo, hey, Cookie. Brown Mama. How are you, sweetheart? Everybody's okay right now. I'll give you a few updates in a moment. Monk Chip, what's going on, sweetheart? TJ is here. Miss Baythang, how are you? Samira, what is up? Montrez, what's good, bruh? Universal Goddess, how you doing over there? Got your Halloween costume on already. Okay, that's even better, Tanya. That means I need to find it. That's not better. That means I got to find an outfit. I'll call you, Tanya. We'll talk about it. Hey, crazy homebody girl. Okay, Nessa say everything's good. The winds are picking up. All right. All right. So go ahead and put some shondos in the chat. Let me know y'all ready to get this party started. And we're gonna go ahead and get through this good dossier. Let me pull up the dossier now. Of course, our top story of the day. We gotta discuss what has been what is going on in Florida and what has been going on all day in my great home state of Florida. Um Hurricane Milton is bearing down on Florida as we speak, as it has been all day long. Um yeah, they are about maybe 2.5, 3 hours from landfall at this point. But here's the deal. So, and I can't fault the weather people. I really can't, because they do the best that they can, but Mother Nature is going to do what she has to do. So there was so much effort placed on the Tampa area, some areas south of Tampa, and all of that. Very little effort or forecasting, for that matter, was paid to the southeast area of Florida. And so as the storm approached and got closer, and those outer bands hit the southeast area of Florida, and we're talking about as early as 5, 6 o'clock this morning, starting then. All day long, there have been tornado watches, not watches, tornado warnings, and actual tornadoes touching the ground. Dozens of them all over specifically the southeast quadrant of Florida, from about Lake Okeechobee, especially the areas around Lake Okeechobee, areas around St. Lucie County. I'm afraid to see what damage has been done in St. Lucie County already, and they're not going to be able to get out and survey that damage because there's a hurricane still coming on shore. I have a good friend of mine who I've known since sixth grade. She and I have been great friends since sixth grade. Her husband is a great friend of mine as well. Um, her house was hit twice by two different tornadoes in St. Lucie County. She lives in Fort Pierce. Two tornadoes hit her house twice. She had to leave um because they saw some leaks and they weren't sure of what type of structural damage there was. So she left. And she's at a friend's house right now. Um she and her family are good. My brother, his wife, her their my niece, and my dad actually lives with them as well. They were under a tornado warning this morning. Matter of fact, they were under about 3 hours of just constant tornado warning this morning, and they are good. The neighbor across the street lost a section of the roof on his house. So the neighbors came, and the neighbors are going to ride out the storm at their house. Um, and they still have the worst of it coming because they still have storm surge that is starting to come now. That now they my brother said that they're already inundated with water in on the street in his yard, and that was about an hour ago. He said it wasn't a lot of water. He said it may have been like an inch of water or whatnot, but this is some at that point it was what, 4 or 5 hours prior to the hurricane hitting. And he says the water has collected in his grass because there's nowhere for the water to go because it's been raining most of the week. So I'm really concerned and I'm really worried about them because they did not evacuate. Um they are in an area that's generally not in an evacuation zone and should be good. But the problem is, it's been raining all week. The ground is saturated. They've already had inches of rain. They've already had several tornadoes in the area. There's already damage to homes and things like that, and they're not going to be able to do anything or get any help because now they're in the thick. They're about to get into the thick of it, where if you call 911, there's going to be nothing that they can do for you. And that's in the area that's about to get hit with the heavy stuff. The southeast corridor of Florida was kind of caught off guard because they weren't the weatherman couldn't forecast that these outer bands would cause. It was literally an outbreak of tornadoes. It was literally every time you looked up, there was another tornado warning. It's I'm there. There's some counties, cities like Clewiston, I know got hit by a lot of stuff, and I got some friends that live in Clewiston, which is sits right on Lake Okeechobee. I spoke to them earlier; they're okay. Like I said, Brevard County is taking it. Brevard County has been taking it today. The Palm Bay area in Brevard County, areas a little south of Melbourne, they have been taking it today with tornadoes. Indian Town, if you know that area over in Henry County, they have been taking it today. It's really it's been hard to watch, hard to deal with, but I certainly have been checking on everybody who I'm those people who know me know I have a large network of people that I really have to look after and take care of, and it's really hard for me to sit here and really have to take it all in, make sure, call everybody, check on everybody, make sure everybody's good. Hear about some of the already some of the damage and devastation already, knowing that there's nothing that they could do but sit there and sit in it until all of this passes, which could possibly not happen until well into the day tomorrow. We're talking about they could be facing 24 hours of okay, waiting for all of this to move off. The hurricane is slated to hit maybe about between 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. And that's just when the eye crosses over. Then all night long is going to cross over. Um, is going to go over the peninsula. But then when it crosses the peninsula, you still have the back end that's still going to be hitting the eastern side of Florida. So the eastern side, even though the west coast of Florida is going to bear the brunt of the eye, the storm surge, the east side of Florida and some of the central southeast or south central east part of Florida and places around the Lake Okeechobee, it's tornadoes have run through there. I mean, it's been a complete tornado outbreak. They're talking record numbers of tornadoes that have touched down today. So I'm very concerned. I'm very, very, very concerned about my state, my people. I mean, it's Florida. We deal with it all. We deal with hurricanes. That's what we do. We deal with it. We're tried and true. But I just, I have to stay concerned, stay vigilant, and be ready. So they're in the thick of it right now. They're sitting in it. Everybody's in good spirits, like I said. When you go through hurricanes, a lot of times when you sit in it, you just have to sit in it. When you go through your hurricane preparedness kit and you get all of this stuff that you need, a couple things you learn about Florida is when we go get all of our stuff to prepare for the hurricane, you always have a hurricane kit in your house. Now, when the hurricane comes, you add more to it in the immediacy of the hurricane, but you always have a hurricane kit. What you always have in that hurricane kit is bottles of alcohol because you're going to need it. If you smoke, you might need to have a blunt or two or whatever you need stashed away or some edibles. Shout out to Lazy Boy Snacks. If you need your edibles, hit up Tanya. Tanya a daughter can hook you up with some edibles if you need to make it through. Listen, I stopped counting Diamond Pearl Gym. I really stopped counting. It was so it got so crazy. Hey Harold, hey Yana, hey Uncle Jay. It was really bad. It was really bad. At one point, like I was looking a good friend of mine. He works for emergency management system of I'm not going to say what county because I'm not supposed to, but he works for the emergency management of that county, and so I kind of get access to. He's given me access to look at the systems that they look at. They give them the most up to date, in real time, newest update. The things that he gives me access to the stuff that the news stations use for their news. And at one point, I think I saw like 18 tornado warnings at one time as I was looking at it, like 18 of them. So it's I mean, at one time it was crazy. It was bananas. So so yeah. Mm. So yeah, you got to sit in it, have it. You ain't got no power's gonna be the first thing that go out. You ain't got no power, so you just sit in it. You got to sit in it. Now, let me tell you, if you dealt with a few people, you could do a couple things. If the hurricane comes during daylight, oh, you can have you an epic Monopoly game, an epic spades game or bid whist game. For those of you who play gin rummy, I remember one time during the Hurricane Wilma, I remember we played gin rummy for about 3 or 4 hours. We had a 3,000 point gin rummy game. And when I tell you, we sat at that table for about 4 hours playing gin rummy and drinking as the hurricane was going by. I just remember because Hurricane Wilma stalled on top of Miami. This was 2005. It literally stalled on top of Miami and sat there for like a day and a half. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna be here for a while. I ain't got nothing to do, girl. I'm going to South Beach to go party on Ocean Drive and just gonna sit here for a minute, girl. Girl, I came to party. Chat a mess. So yeah, hey Sharice, hey Jason, hey Edelise, what's going on? Samara says I can't live in Florida. Not only y'all have to deal with hurricanes and tornadoes, but y'all have gators and could show up in your kitchen when the floods get into your home. Well, no, the problem that's yes and no, Samara. The problem is people keep building homes further and further west. If you live in South Florida, at least in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. The further you go west in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, you're going into the Everglades. You're building your home in the home of goddamn gators. What the hell do you expect? You over there chilling on your back porch. The gator like, girl, you in my front porch. Girl, let me go sit here. Girl, let me go sit here. You remember Wilma, Nessa, and TJ? Listen, Wilma sat on top of us in Miami for like a day and a half, and you couldn't go outside. You lost power. And remember, if you remember, those of you who live in Miami or South Florida, they remember it was a really big storm, but it was a category 1 when it crossed Miami. And we didn't take it serious. We were like, oh, girl, this is just a category 1. Girl, we ain't got nothing to worry about. And that shit sat on top of us for a day and a half, just literally sat there, pouring rain and wind. All of the power went out, and all of the gas stations lost power. Many of the all of the corner stores lost power too, but some supermarkets lost power as well. So you couldn't get gas, you couldn't get groceries, and what happened was they had to pass a law in Florida for that area, for areas that are hurricane prone, because now certain types of stores or businesses have to have generators like gas stations that are essential, grocery stores, so that if the power goes out for an extended period of time, we're not without gas, because you literally have millions and millions and millions of people without gas, had no way to get gas, and it was just it was a complete shit show. We were fucking locked out from the rest of the world in fucking Miami. I remember I went with that storm hit in October, and it was like maybe it was before Halloween. I know it was before, maybe a week or two before Halloween. I didn't get power until like school was out for 2 weeks. I was going back to work and still didn't have power because I was teaching. I think it was like my second year teaching. And I remember I didn't get power until the Thursday, a week before Thanksgiving. I was without power for like a month. It was a mess. School was out. I remember after Hurricane Andrew, now I go back that far, I was in 8th grade. We did not start school, I think, until like October. I know it was well after Labor Day. I think we didn't start school until like the end of September or close to October, when Hurricane Andrew came. And I remember because the high schools had an abbreviated football season. Instead of playing normal 10 games, they only played like, I think, 7 games that year. Was it hot? Hell yeah, it was hot as hell. It was hot as hell after Wilma. That was the problem with Wilma. After the storm passed and you ain't have no goddamn power, it went back to being hot as hell. and you sitting in your house dying of heat stroke because you ain't got no fan, you ain't got no air conditioner. You had to go with the church fans with Martin Luther King on there trying to get some air because it was just hot as hell. Dear God. Lord. Hey, everybody coming in the chat. Ciao. I see Bap, Miss Shorty, B done came in, Jay Parrish. What's going on? Gabby is here. Says that the wind getting slapped in the face by the heavy rain, and he was in a hotel near the beach or the balcony during Irma. TJ, I remember my spot to go and get ice was Miami-Dade North. And I remember having to drive there once a day. They only gave you 2 bags of ice. You had to sit in this long line. Now, mind you, gas stations did not have gas. And you had to go drive and go get ice, for some people needed ice for medication. Some people needed ice to keep certain things they needed cold. I remember going to get ice. I was sitting that goddamn line. And so what I would do was, my stupid self, it was me and a friend. Because as long as you had 2 people that had 2 different IDs that had residences, you would get 2 bags of ice per person. So what we did was we would put the car in neutral. And because the line wasn't really moving like that, we would literally push the car. And then if we needed to drive fast, we would turn the car on and drive. But we would turn that car off. We didn't have any gas. It was a complete mess. And so, but I remember that long line at Miami-Dade to get ice. Oh my God. It was crazy. It was insanity. You're right, Nessa. Katrina hit us first. And then right after Katrina, Wilma came. It was like, wait, what? It wasn't right after, but because Katrina came, I want to say Katrina came in like what, August? I want to say Katrina was in like August. I think Katrina was in August. But I remember Katrina came. I remember 05 had a whole bunch of hurricanes in 05. I do remember that. It was a lot going on. It was a lot going on in 05. That 05 season was nothing nice. Nothing nice. Rita, I forgot about Rita. We did get a bunch of storms in 05. I remember Rita. It was Katrina, then Rita, then Will. You're right. You're right, TJ. They were just like rolling off the ocean. I was like, girl. But listen, for those of you all want to update on Milton, if you got family members in Florida specifically who live along the east coast of Florida, if they live near I-95, anywhere from Brevard County south, or if they live going along the turnpike, if you have family members that live along the turnpike, or if you have families that are around the Lake Okeechobee area, anything around that area, please check on your family members. If you haven't been listening to the news today, leading up to the storms, the outer bands of Hurricane Milton has had catastrophic effects. There's been an outbreak of tornadoes of record proportions all over the southeastern corridor of Florida. And this is well before the hurricane comes on shore. There have been multiple tornadoes that have touched down. Unfortunately, there's not a lot they can do to assess damage or do a lot because there's a hurricane coming on shore as we speak. So please, if you have people in these areas, and this is prior to right now, they're really getting into the thick of things. We're looking at probably like around 8 o'clock, maybe a little earlier, landfall tonight. So we're starting to get into the thick of it for the people on that southwest corridor. It looks like Sarasota is going to probably get a direct hit Sarasota, Bradenton area, which is just south of Tampa, which is the best that Tampa could hope for, because Tampa was really hoping for this southern dip, because had it done a direct hit to Tampa, I don't know what would happen to Tampa if they had gotten a direct hit, but it'll be just south of Tampa in Sarasota, Bradenton area. So they are bracing right now. Fort Myers area has already, I have family down there. Fort Myers has already had several tornadoes come in that area that have already damaged some homes, and this is hours and hours before the hurricane even hits. And now, to add insult to injury, you have them about to be inundated with not just wind, but the storm surge that's about to hit that area. They're saying they could get anywhere from 6 to 8 feet. Um, if not even more. And that was earlier this morning. So now that it's kind of taking a more southerly route, that estimate may have gone up. It is still a strong Category 3 hurricane, but at this point, it really doesn't matter because it's right there on the shore, and the storm surge is coming. And regardless of the category, with the number of tornadoes that have touched down today, um, and there'll probably be more. It's going to be a scary, catastrophic situation for Florida. So um, it's pretty bad. Pray for Florida. If you got family members, check on them, send them a text, um, and things like that. Your previous question. What about Clearwater? My other family in Tampa evacuated, but my cousin and his kids in Clearwater did. Clearwater is going to be on the north side. I have a brother that has a home in Clearwater Beach. So Clearwater is like east of Tampa, and that's going to be north of where the eye is going to hit. They're going to get a lot of wind damage there. From they'll get, the hurricane force winds there, but thankfully their storm surge isn't going to be what they thought it was. Now it's still going to be storm surge. It's still going to be bad storm surge there, but it's not going to be what they were originally projecting, which was possibly up to 15 feet of storm surge, and that would have been had the eye crossed directly over, what they were projecting, Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Tampa area. But with it going a little south to Bradenton, Sarasota, it does look like Clearwater should be okay. Well, I take that back. They are going to get storm surge in Clearwater. Let's be clear. The thing about it is, it depends on what side of Clearwater they stay on, because the way the hurricane will be spinning, if you live on the east side of where the water, because it's kind of really a barrier island. So if you live on the east side, the water will be coming on shore, coming at you. If you live on the west side, the water will be going away from you. So that's kind of, if you want to think of it that way. But you still got to think of the bigger storm surge, because as the hurricane comes over, there's going to be a big wall of water that will come up with the hurricane and just move with the hurricane on shore. So you'll kind of have two things going at the same time. The wind will be pushing one way, the storm surge will be coming another way. And so that will kind of be an interesting thing meteorologically, but that's why they won't have the 12 to 15 foot storm surge that you may get in Sarasota, Bradenton area. Those are the areas. My family that's in Naples right now possibly could get up to 8 feet of storm surge, if not maybe a little more. And we're talking about people who are living on streets that are lined with debris from Helene. These are all people. If you drive down their streets, all the way down the street, you see people who have done what they were supposed to do, bring debris to the edge of the street so that the city can come and pick it up. But there's just we haven't even been 2 weeks. Tomorrow makes 2 weeks since Helene, so it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. And if you've never lived in a hurricane area, if a hurricane comes, it could take months to get all of that debris up. And those of you who've lived in Florida and dealt with a hurricane may come in September. You can be in November and still have debris from that hurricane lined up on the side of the street. So you're talking people who have debris and things that could be floating in water in that area. Okay. Leslie, Leslie is going out to the Atlantic. It shouldn't be a problem for anybody. That's not going to be a problem for anybody unless you're in a boat out in the Atlantic, but it shouldn't be a problem for anybody. Leslie will be out in the Atlantic. It shouldn't be a problem. Um so that's the updates on Milton. Please, 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 y'all. Please check on your people. If you got people over there in that area, it's serious. If you have people anywhere in Florida, I would say south of Orlando, and anybody south of Orlando, just check and make sure they're okay. Because everybody on the southern peninsula of Florida felt it this morning. I mean, it was literally an outbreak, tornado after tornado after tornado after tornado after tornado. It was bad. It was bad, especially in that southeast corridor. Um, Jacksonville should be fine. They're probably getting a little bit of rain in Jacksonville, but they should be fine. Now, up in Cocoa Beach, I talked to people in Cocoa Beach area and Daytona Beach. It's been raining there for a few hours. Like they've gotten nonstop outer bands over in Daytona Beach the last time I talked to them, and they were already flooding. I talked to some people in Daytona Beach and Deltona. I got people in Daytona and Deltona, and both of them said, listen, that and this was maybe about 1 o'clock. They said they already had their front lawns inundated with water. And that's just from the rain. And they're just starting to get the rain. So, but they were already forecasting 12 to 18 inches of rain in in that area, and it may be even more. But Jacksonville should be okay, depending on what part of Jacksonville. As long as your brother doesn't live on Jacksonville Beach or by the St. Johns River, then they'll probably be fine. Um, Floridians are very resilient. I saw somebody ask how will Florida um be affected with the voting. Um, I will say this: people will still go out and vote, but you will have people who say, "Listen, I got other things to worry about and other things going on," where that's just not front of mind, especially if you're in a directly affected area. And we're talking about an election that's 4 weeks away, literally 27 days from now. So, you know, so, he still needs a bath anyway. Child, he'll be all right in Jacksonville. Yeah, they're resilient. They will go out and do what they have to do. Um, I just don't like the politicizing of it all. And it goes back to, like I said, I'd love for them to have some town halls from both the North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia area that were affected by Helene, and all of Florida, and see and really take some real tough questions, because it's like I said yesterday, and I said this yesterday on Red, Blue, and Black. Y'all around here playing politics, and I ain't just talking about DeSantis. I'm talking about DeSantis and Kamala. This is not the time to play politics. This is not the time. If somebody asks you a question, have you received a phone call from DeSantis? That is not our concern right now. That's not our biggest worry. Our biggest worry right now is the citizens that are living in Florida and them knowing that they have the full support of the entirety of the American government. But even if you told me that, can I really believe that when you're sending hundreds of billions of dollars to the other side of the world to help them, but then you tell the people who actually live in the United States, who are paying taxes that give you those billions of dollars to send over there, you tell them, oh, well, we'll see if this FEMA applications goes through. Oh, well, we're going to get down there if we can. Oh, well, the governor didn't answer my phone call, so I don't know if I'm going to get down there. Oh, well, I don't want to answer the phone call from the vice president because it's an election cycle. We don't have time for all this shit. It don't matter who's right or who's wrong. Because Kamala, every time I see you, I believe that Israel has the right to defend itself, and by defending itself, that means we're going to continue to send tens of billions of dollars over there, fully backing what President Biden has been doing. All the while, we have several states. You got Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, which will have its second hurricane in 2 fucking weeks. So in totality, we're easily talking hundreds of billions of dollars that will be needed for people who live here and pay taxes here to get back on their feet. But yet and still, front of mind for y'all is Benjamin Netanyahu and his fuck shit over there. Or sending more money over to Ukraine and all of that. And I'm not saying these people may not need help. But what I am saying is, don't tell me in one breath you have no issue sending billions of dollars over there at the drop of a dime without batting an eye, and then in the next breath, you tell the actual citizens of this country, well, you got to wait a little bit. Well, we have to go through this red tape. Well, there's bureaucracy that we got to get through. Well, you got to fill out this application. We don't got time for that shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I got where this came from? A screw came out. I might need this screw. Oh, this screw go right here. How this screw came out? You know, this is why they shouldn't let me put my own stuff together. This is why stuff should already come already screwed together. Child. I am spiking out. Where's Larry? Larry, we need you.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike up.
So long, well, I want to fight. That he gave, his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike up.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike up.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus! I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. Hey, Xavier, I didn't even see you sneak up in here. But yes, I spiked out a little bit, y'all. I apologize. I did just spike out. I apologize. I didn't mean to spike out like that. I really didn't. But these people, ooh. And that's both sides. Like, I hear people taking sides with it. I don't give a damn who's right or who's wrong. You giving the wrong answers, Kamala. The fact that you fell for it, and you walked right into their trap when they asked you about governor death sentence, and you didn't, say that's not my concern. My concern is with the citizens. You fell right into the trap because now you're politicizing it. And the man already called you out because the man said we done had hurricanes all the 4 years you done been in office, and you ain't never called for no other hurricane. Let me shut up. Let me move on. One more time, Larry. One more time.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Jesus. I was looking at some of the updates that we've gotten about the storm. It's looking bad. Yeah, it is not. It's not looking good. They have some pictures from some of the tornadoes that have already hit Fort Myers. Just to show you all what I'm looking at. I want y'all to hold on one second. Kamala, you can wait for a moment. I'll talk about you in a minute. Some of this other stuff is just not as important. Okay, so I'm getting this from CNN. So this is a gentleman in Fort Myers. I told you, those people in the members only chat, I told y'all, my brother, his neighbor across the street, his whole roof came, well, not the whole roof, but part of his roof came off. Where did it go? Where did the picture go? Dear God. Oh boy. Oh, it updated. Sorry, y'all. These are the updates. You can see it coming. See how crazy it got during the day. Y'all saw all of those boxes. Those, every time you see a box, that's another tornado warning. It just got way out of order. As of 3 o'clock, that was 2 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago, 53 tornado warnings. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And 41 of those was issued, and it keeps going up. So this is what we're dealing with. I wanted to go back to the picture. Where's the damn picture that I had? This is in Fort Myers earlier today. This is earlier today in Fort Myers. This is already, the hurricane hasn't even hit yet. Where's the picture that I had, God? I was just looking at, oh, no, that's not it. This is some of the damage from the tornado earlier in Fort Myers. As you can see, they're already inundated with water. Their flooding has already begun, and this is ahead of the hurricane. Here's some other damage in Fort Myers. I told you, my brother and my dad, they're in Fort Myers. At one point, they had a 3-hour tornado warning that they were dealing with there. Here is a video. See if I can make this big. Well, I don't want to make the commercial big. God. And I'm not even this one. I thought I had made this big. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all probably couldn't even see it. I'll go back up because y'all might not have even been able to see it. And that was as a tornado was hitting the Fort Myers area. Here's an area in Lee County. This is as tornadoes have been hitting all morning long. So like I said, it's been a hell of a day. It has been a hell of a day. Um it's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a day over in I know I went by real fast, so y'all may not have seen some of the other videos. I mean some of the other pictures. Here's a picture of some of the damage in Fort Myers. Here's some more of damage in Fort Myers. And like I said, this is all hours and hours. They're already, as you can see, have standing water already before they get the major storm surge and the major winds. So we're talking debris already down from a catastrophic amount of tornadoes that hit this morning and ravaged the area. So Fort Myers, but that's just Fort Myers. That's not showing you a lot of the stuff that was going on over more so on the eastern side. So like I said, let's pray for the people down in my state, and that they are safe and have as little loss of life as we can get. All right, I guess I got to give the update from the campaign trail. Lord, now that I just already had this damn meltdown. Kamala Harris was on Stephen Colbert last night. Trump is going to be in Pennsylvania today. President Joe Biden will be joined by Vice President Harris virtually for a briefing on the administration's preparations for Hurricane Milton before she travels to Nevada. She's supposed to be in Nevada today. Both vice presidential candidates, Governor Tim Walz and Senator J.D. Vance, are both in Arizona today. Yeah, and on both sides, we got people spreading misinformation from both sides. We got all types of fuck shit and fuckery going on. In terms of other Florida news outside of the hurricane, civil rights group have sued Florida in an effort to reopen the state's voter registration window, arguing that the October 7th deadline was sandwiched between two life-threatening obstacles that forced some residents to choose between seeking safety from hurricanes and signing up to vote. Southern states impacted by Hurricane Helene have been facing intense pressure by voting and civil rights groups to give residents more time to register to vote, given the devastation wrought by the storm and the widespread disruption already caused by Hurricane Milton, which is expected to make landfall in Florida tonight. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, governor death sentence, rebuffed calls earlier this week to extend his state's deadline, and as well as Governor Brian Kemp has done the same. South Carolina did extend its deadline by more than a week to accommodate prospective voters impacted by Hurricane Helene. The lawsuit brought Tuesday by the League of Women Voters of Florida and the Florida NAACP against Ron DeSantis and Republican Secretary of State Cord Byrd said a federal judge asked, a federal judge to temporarily block the officials from further enforcing the October 7th registration deadline and for them to reopen Florida's voter registration deadline for an additional 10 days. Quote, this year, tens of thousands of Florida residents forced to choose between safety and exercising their fundamental right have been denied the opportunity to register to vote, end of quote. And that's according to the attorneys for the civil rights groups in their 30-page federal lawsuit. Now, here's where I guess we got to go political. Here's the fuck shit that we deal with, right? Here's the fuck shit. So you have some Democrats that are complaining that Vice President Kamala Harris, because Vice President Kamala Harris is having to go and do a lot of things because she's sitting fucking vice president, to make sure that the aftermath of Helene is done well, preparing for Hurricane Milton that's affecting Florida today. And that has taken her off of her a lot of things that she may have wanted to do during this time. Some have said she has mentioned it as well. But here's the deal, Democrats and Vice President Kamala Harris. I would utterly I would think that it would go a lot further for you to be appearing to be presidential, for you to show and demonstrate yourself a leader, and for you to show and demonstrate that you have a care and need for the urgency of the situations going on in the Southeast. We have literally millions of people across 6 states that have dealt with life-changing natural disasters. I just believe that the purpose of the federal government, last time I checked, is to make sure that they take care of the citizens to which they're been elected to govern. Far be it for me to expect that your first and constant care when in office are the citizens to which you owe your allegiance and that elected you, as opposed to people on the other side of the world. I'm just saying, but maybe the problem is me. I might be the problem, y'all. I know sometimes I'm the problem because I just think differently. Cam says that how utterly unshocking that the governor is down south of trash. Yeah, Brian Kemp is fucking trash. And so is Ron DeSantis. Now, the interesting part about Brian Kemp, one of the most affected areas, and the area in Georgia that still has the most number of people without power almost 2 weeks after the storm, is Augusta. Augusta is a highly Black populated area. Augusta is very blue. Augusta has a lot of Black people in it. And you very well could have had a lot of people wanting to continue to try to register to vote. However, they don't have no power. And I think the more pressing concern is that they get power. You know, some people may be more concerned about getting power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people are trash. These people are trash. Trash. Child, I done had a lot of trade out of Fort Gordon in Augusta. Child. Social Distance Bay, who I used to when we were in social distances, who used to help me through a lot of COVID times. I'll put it like that. Did had just got out of the military and he was stationed at Fort Gordon. Child. I done went to the AUG a couple times. I'm not gonna tell y'all the trouble that I got in the AUG. Child. Yeah, social distance, babe. During COVID, I had 2 on the roster because we were social distancing. So you couldn't really have an extensive roster during, or your stash couldn't be as robust as it's supposed to be during the Coco. So during the Coco, my stash was down to 2. You had social distance bay and date bay. Those were the 2. Mm-hmm. Child. Not the good pipe. Yes. Oh, girl. The Bay is all right. The Bay is in North Carolina. I talked to him. He's fine. Family is good. They're good. They're good. They're good. They're good. They're fine. No, you're thinking about 2019. Now, before COVID, because me and the Bay broke up in 2020. Me and the Bay broke up in 2020. So if you go back to 2019, when I used to have to shut down, then that was probably because of the Bay, not date Bay or social distance Bay. But now, when date Bay and social distance Bay, I would go over I would go over to their house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. I'm just saying. Cha. Good times. Good times. A good time was had by all. Cha. What else am I missing from I'm not gonna get into that. The headline says at Arizona rally, Vance plays clip from Harris interview and attacks FEMA response to hurricanes. I'm not. I don't have the energy. I might lose my fucking mind and start throwing shit. You talk about a real spike out. If I even go into that, I'm gonna spike out. Once again, there have been shots fired at the Democratic Party campaign office in Tempe, Arizona. This is the 3rd such incident within a month, according to Tempe police. The Tempe Democratic Party coordinator campaign office was hit by what appears to be gunfire on October 6th around 12:30 a.m. local time. Tempe police said in a statement Wednesday, no one was inside the building at the time. This is a mess. But this is a mess. Y'all don't see a problem here? Hey, lovely 31 Blueprint. Child, if only you knew. Gabby. This your first time hearing about the we've reported on the other 2 Diamond Pearl Jam. Mm-hmm. We reported on the other 2 times that the offices have been shot in Tempe, Arizona. Yeah, we reported on the other 2 times. If that's what you're talking about. I'm not sure if that's what you were talking about, but if that's what you're talking about, yeah, we reported on that. Let me see if there's anything else. They say that it's being reported that Kamala Harris raised $1 billion with a B dollars since entering the presidential race in July. According to sources familiar with the situation. But I told y'all, well, are y'all using these monies in the right areas? Let's keep going because I said I was gonna be on here that long, and now it's already 6 o'clock. I thank y'all for keeping me company because y'all know my mind has been all over the place. Y'all know my mind has been all over the place, and I thank y'all for keeping me company today. As we're dealing with all of everything going on back home. So we have a war going on. And I keep saying we because if you don't think that the United States of America isn't intimately involved in all of this, you're fooling yourselves. Benjamin Netanyahu has warned Lebanon, telling them that the destruction there could be, quote, similar to what we see in Gaza, end of quote. Because now you are bragging about what you did in Gaza, right, Benjamin Netanyahu? Right? Right? They said that Israel has carried out more than 1,100, that's 1,100 airstrikes on southern Lebanon since its ground operations began earlier this month. Its chief of staff vowed Wednesday to continue the war and give Hezbollah no room for respite or recovery, while Netanyahu warned the Lebanese people they face falling into the abyss of a long war. And that's a direct quote. That this picture that you see here, that's not Gaza. Let me make that bigger. This is not Gaza. That's not Gaza. That is Lebanon. This is not this is not Gaza. This picture right here is a picture of Lebanon. I just want y'all to see and understand that this is serious. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not, nothing that they're not playing. Exactly, V. Carter. They don't. So where do they get it from? From us. And instead of us using money to help our own citizens, we're using money to help them do this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Child. Well, you're welcome. Yana, I needed this too, child. My nerves been all over the place all day. What else? President Joseph Robinette held a direct 30-minute phone call with his counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu today, according to Press Secretary Corinne Jean-Pierre. I'm sorry, you Haitian. Your name is Corinne Jean-Pierre. I'm not gonna keep calling you Corinne Jean-Pierre. You is Haitian. Where my Zopound at? Please tell this woman her name ain't no Corinne Jean-Pierre. It's Corinne Jean-Pierre. Tell me I'm wrong. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Shout out to all my Zopound. Anyway, Um, this was the first conversation in almost 2 months and comes as Israel considers its response to Iran's missile strikes in October. See, this is the fuck shit that I'm talking about. Every now and again, they tell on themselves. So we've had devastation going on over there. You've had fucking Gaza being wiped off the face of the earth. You've had Israel bomb Israel murder people and assassinate people in Lebanon, as well as attack places in Syria. We've had continued strikes and devastation in the West Bank. And now, for the last few weeks, we've had war going on in Lebanon. And you tell me that the president of these yet to be United States of America, Joseph Robinette, has not spoken to Benjamin Netanyahu in 2 months? Today is the first time that you've spoken to him in 2 months. This is the fuck shit that I'm talking about. See, this is why I told y'all they don't mean what they say when they say, oh, we're working on a ceasefire. Really? Because y'all told me today was the first time he talked to that man in 2 months. Hey, Angela, this is the first time y'all say he talked to that man in 2 months. Y'all said that. Y'all telling on y'all selves. Exactly, friend. It ain't like you campaigning for an election no more. The fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing? Girl, I can't. I cannot. Listen, Ravine, I don't know. Ravine, I don't know. I don't know. But these are the lies that they tell. But now, y'all think we don't pay attention. Y'all just slip that in there. I'm going to read that again. This was the first conversation in almost 2 months and comes as Israel considers its response to Iran's missile strikes on October 1st. Y'all wrote that. I didn't write that. Mm-hmm. They have a ground war in Lebanon going on using our money. You didn't even talk to him today. Iran rained missiles down on Israel a week ago. You didn't even call him after that. And you used our military to shoot the missiles down. You didn't think that was a good time to call him? Girl, I can't. I cannot. Oh, I should also read the fact that yet again, the IDF, the Israeli Defense, um, I, the Israeli Defense Force has ordered the evacuation of 3 hospitals in northern Gaza, according to both Doctors Without Borders and the Ministry of Health in Gaza. These orders are turning the area into an unlivable wasteland, end of quote. And that's according to the ministry, according to Doctors Without Borders. Although, remember 2 weeks ago, Vice President Kamala Harris said that they had ceased from sending Israel any more 2,000-pound bombs. Well, let me read this. The Israeli military dropped heavily destructive 2,000-pound bombs in dangerous proximities to nearly all Gaza's hospitals during the early weeks of its wars in the enclave, according to a peer review study published today, which cites a CNN investigation. Between October 7th and November 17th, 2023, Israel deployed 2,000-pound bombs within the lethal range of 25% of all hospitals in Gaza, according to an analysis of impact craters by researchers at Harvard and other universities. This is what y'all got going on. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Israeli Defense Forces also struck down a hospital in the Gaza refugee camp. Oh yes, the camp that they told them to go to take when they told them to get out of their cities, they go to these refugee camps, and they had a hospital set up there. And what did the IDF do? They bombed the hospital in said refugee camp. Why? Because according to them, they believed that that it was a quote command and control center for Hamas. Although there's no actual evidence of any of that. See, this was what's been going on when these people talk about, oh, Israel has the right to defend themselves. Oh, Israel has the right to defend themselves. This is why I don't entertain that fuck shit. Let me move on. In more news, let me start by saying, before I get too far into this, the Democrats are now officially worried. They're on threat level red at this point. We're less than 4 weeks to this upcoming election. The Democrats are on threat level red because races a month ago that seemed locked down as if they were going to, win quite handily, have now come within the margin of error, or it's basically just toss up at this point. Now, we spoke yesterday about the race Tammy Baldwin has going on over in Wisconsin, right? Well, now today we're seeing that the race in Michigan for that Senate seat has now turned into a toss-up race. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, Alyssa Slotkin, the Democrat, you see her on the right, she's running against Mike Rogers. And yeah. Now, Slotkin was up by 5 points back in September. Well, now they're at a dead heat, 48-48, each having 48% of the vote. It's a complete toss-up. And the Democrats are shitting their pants at this point. Are shitting in their pants at this point because, for example, Slotkin's problem is Harris is not helping Slotkin. When Harris does these things that piss off the Arab and Muslim community, these are people that are saying, yeah, I don't have it to do with y'all. And so now they're afraid of normally the Arab American vote is like it's not as high as the black vote, but it's not far off in terms of how staunch they are in terms of voting for Democrats. The Arab American and Muslim vote usually is lockstep and key with the Dems. They usually don't have to worry about them. However, we got a situation and you're losing that vote. And there are a lot of Arab and Muslim Americans in the blue wall up there up north. Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin. There's a lot. We'll see how this goes, but they're concerned, and that's not the only. A lot of races that they were like, "Oh, we got this," are tightening up, tightening up. So the Dems are starting to, and this is where Harris is going to get pushback. That I talked earlier about them saying she's spending a lot of time on these hurricanes and not on the campaign trail like she should be, and that's because people are getting worried because there's been some miscues and missteps in some of the things that she's some of the things that she said at times during some of her interviews that she's been having. I talked about yesterday when they when she was asked that question on The View about what she would have done differently from Joe, and her first answer was, "I can't think of anything." That's a bad answer. So they're shitting their pants. Dems usually get nervous around this time, about a month before, but the numbers are not looking good, and they are not confident at all. Oh well. In the dossier today, in your updates, since we're giving updates on everything, well, let me give you the Diddy update. Here's a good one, y'all. Now, remember we read that lawsuit, what was that, about a week or so ago, from that lady Thalia Graves, the one who said that she was raped by Diddy on the pool table with him and some other man, and she said she dated somebody who worked for Bad Boys, and she said that there was the sex tape that they taped her being raped, and they were shopping it around, and he was showing it to people. Remember that girl Thalia Graves? Well, there's an update to the story. There's an update to the story. Well, here we go. Diddy's rape accuser Thalia Graves allegedly offered her boyfriend $3 million to corroborate her claims against the Bad Boy Records boss. I just read the headline. That's it. I don't know what y'all want from me. I just read it. Graves is suing Diddy as well as his former bodyguard Joseph Sherman over an alleged rape that she claims occurred in 2001 while she was dating one of the mogul's employees. TMZ now claims to have seen text messages between Thalia Graves and her then boyfriend from November 2023, in which she says she plans to sue Diddy because he's the one that has the money. She said she plans to sue Diddy, quote, because he's the one that has the money, end quote. Graves then allegedly proceeds to ask her ex-boyfriend to back up her story, saying that he has seen a video of the alleged incident. She messages him, quote, what do you need, $3 million? End quote. TMZ claims to have spoken to the boyfriend, who has verified the messages and says that he interpreted the text as a bribe, leading him to block Thalia Graves' number as well as her social media pages. Diddy's lawyers also appear to have the text messages. Graves' attorney responded to the bombshell development in a statement saying, quote, "It is very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client is looking forward to her day in court," end of quote. After the lawsuit was made public in a press conference last month, the bodyguard, what's the bodyguard name? What's the man name? Joseph Sherman. He came forward and denied all of the claims. He told NBC New York in an emotional interview, quote, "It's a lie on me. I don't know this lady from anywhere. I am not questioning her integrity. I'm just questioning her claims against me. You got the wrong man. I wasn't even in the same room with you. I have never seen you. I wasn't even in New York that I recall at that time. Her and whoever she's in cahoots with was orchestrating a money grab, and she wanted me to be part of that money grab. She wanted to get Diddy." End of quote. He said in the interview. According to Joseph Sherman, he did work for work. He did security work for Diddy and Bad Boy Records in the 90s, but was no longer with the company at the time she alleges the rape occurred. Ciao. Ciao. Miss Thalia Graves, you starting to look like Lil Rod or whatever his name was. Mama, girl, we was over here rooting for you. Well, we weren't rooting for you, but we was over here crying with you, girl. We let you lay your head on our shoulder. We let you cry. We hugged you. Girl, we took you out shopping to get over it. We came back home and had some martinis, girl, and we did our makeup to help you feel better. We had our friends take care of your kids for you so you could cry some more with us. Girl, we was over here going through it with you. We was over here ready to hunt down anybody who saw this alleged tape. Child. Lil Baby say she didn't do a damn thing with you, girl. Girl, now here's the deal. I have every reason to believe that Diddy is just as horrible as we all know he is. But I do think some of these people coming out of the woodworks are just being real gratuitous. Real gratuitous. Wouldn't this lady have been a part of the original investigations from the Justice Department? Isn't it easily verified whether Joseph Sherman was working for Diddy in 2001? I would venture to guess that's real easy to find out. I'm just saying, hey Ronald. I don't know if she said she was looking at the camera, but I know she said they taped her and they was showing people the tape. Mama saw listen, Mama saw how fast Cassie got paid and said, "Girl, let me get a piece of this." Diddy got a whole lot of money, Universal Goddess, and the people trying to tap in. The people trying to tap in, honey. That's a whole lot of money. Ciao. Ciao. Anyway, y'all, I don't know. I'm gonna listen. I think my girl, when y'all go to Really B tonight, see if Really B is gonna report on this. Because I think Really B said she was gonna report on this. I hope she is. When y'all go over there to Really B, see if she got more intel. Because you know, this the kind of stuff Really B, I expect Really B to have good intel on. Okay. I expect my sis to have really good intel on this. So when y'all go over there to Really B, see if she covering this tonight. Because I expect her to be covering this tonight. Matter of fact, is she going live tonight? Let me set up that now. Let me set that up now before I forget. Cause oh, she's going live on her other channel and it's not set up for redirect. Okay. Not you on one of them. I'm not doing this with you, Gabby. Anyway, Diddy, Miss Graves, go with God. Jussie is in the news. Now that's his mama right there next to him. Now, he said that this is not a hoax. He says his mama really was nearly his mom's home was nearly broken into. His mom's name is Janet, and her LA home was nearly burglarized by a couple of would-be thieves Monday night. Jussie immediately rushed to her side to make sure she was all right. And she was. Two prowlers showed up at her house and tried to smash open a back door, causing $300 in damage to a window. Sources are being told that the suspects were unable to get inside her residence, though. They say that Janice heard a noise and went outside to check it out, confronting the two strangers who then bolted from the scene. Sources are also being told that Jussie came over to comfort his mom and make sure everything was okay. Police took a report for an attempted burglary and are now looking for the perpetrators. Not to be confused with Jussie, claims that he was robbed in Chicago. This really happened. The man mama was really actually, the man's mom was really and truly almost burglarized. I don't want y'all to be over there thinking that he's making this shit up. Okay. I'm sure if you go look, where's Tracy C? I'm sure Tracy C might can go and find the police report somewhere. Where's the brothers at? Baby, they down to the bathhouse in Chicago like they was before the Jussie situation, getting paid to, blow the girls' backs out. The girls still getting their backs blown out by the Osum Darrow boys. Okay. That's how Jussie found them. Down to the bathhouse, down to Chicago, where if you throw them a little bit of change, they'll blow your back out and claim that, they're doing training. They're trainers. Baby, they training that hole. Oh, Universal Goddess said it was a police report the first time too. Well, then there's that. Right. I'm just glad the mom, I'm just glad that his mom is okay. I mean, did Journey report on this? Don't they got ain't this like 6 of them? It's like 1 million of the Smollett kids. Where's Journey? Journey, did you hear from your mama? Did your mama say you got she almost got robbed? Journey, where somebody go find Journey? Girl. I don't know. We gotta move on. Go with God. In Turkey, now this was a wild story. So it's being reported that a Turkish pilot died during a flight. A Turkish Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing when the pilot died in the air early Wednesday. The flight was en route from Seattle to Istanbul when 59-year-old, that's a long way. Wait, from Seattle, Washington to Istanbul? That's clear across the other side of the world. I know y'all got to have a layover somewhere. All my experts in, airline fuel and stuff like that, can one tank of gas or fuel for an airline or for an airplane get it from Seattle, Washington to Istanbul in Turkey? I just don't think that's possible. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I just think that's a long ass flight. I'm just saying. Girl, y'all ain't gotta stop nowhere. Girl. Anyway, his name was Ilsahin Pelavan, and he was 59 years old. He collapsed, according to the airline spokesperson, who shared the news on X. The spokesperson said, despite the flight crew's efforts to administer first aid, the pilot died mid-flight. The other pilot and co-pilot then performed an emergency landing. I'm glad y'all had 3 pilots up in there, because, girl, maybe you need 3 pilots if you're flying that long, girl. Anyway, flight tracking data from FlightAware shows the dramatic moment the plane made a sharp turn toward the Big Apple, eventually landing safely in New York's JFK Airport this morning. Ciao. They said he had been a pilot with them since 2007, and he had recently passed a medical exam in March with no signs of health issues. Ciao. That's it, just 16. I feel like it would be longer than 16 hours. From Seattle to Turkey, I feel like that'll be like even if you go across America, you got to go all the way across America. Then you got to go all the way across the Atlantic. Then you got to go all the way into and through the Mediterranean. And then get all the way to Turkey. That's a long ass way. Girl, it's a non-stop, Camps. Girl, I didn't even know you could fly. That's halfway around the world. That's literally got to be the direct opposite. Girl. Anyway, we got to move on. Come on, God. Usher had to cancel his tour stop in Miami because of Hurricane Milton. So he might be. I don't know if he got out of there and then he's gonna reschedule it for later. Like he had to reschedule the ones in Atlanta. We'll see. All right, Usher. I'm sure. Where's Nessa? Nessa, you was going to that concert? Where my fellow Miamians? Y'all was going to the concert? Well, it's canceled. I'm just sorry. Nelly ain't got no friends, y'all. So apparently, all of the Saint Lunatics have distanced themselves from Nelly amidst this royalties lawsuit. Murphy Lee, Kaiwan, and City Spud are making it clear that they want nothing to do with the lawsuit filed against Nelly. Now, I know some of y'all are asking about Ali, who's in the group. Remember, Ali was in the lawsuit with Nelly. Child. Now, Nelly's attorney is on record saying that those other 3 members of the St. Lunatics, quote, informed me that they did not authorize you to include them as plaintiffs. They are hereby demanding you remove their names forthwith. Failure to do so will cause them to explore any and all legal remedies available to them, end of quote. So they said, don't put us in this lawsuit. Don't ask us to be a part of this lawsuit. Leave us the fuck out of it, or we'll get our own lawyers involved. Child, girl, child. I don't know what to tell you, Usher. I think you should just pay them people that money. I just saw them all in concert with Janet Jackson in July. Child. Why I had to say child? You know, Yana, they say Usher be canceling some of his concert tours when he have an outbreak from the hurt. But that's allegedly. They say when he have outbreaks from the herps that he have to cancel some tour dates. I'm just telling you, I don't know if that's true. That's all alleged. I don't know. I still must admit that's a fine black man. That Nelly is a fine piece of something. Let me be quiet because that's before Tanya fall out the clouds. Where Tanya? Because that's her boo. Tanya love her some Nelly. That is her boo. That is her boo. But that's a fine piece of black man. I'm just telling y'all what I know. Dear God, God above, God of mercy, dear God. But that's Tanya boo. Let me not say too much for Tanya fall out the bushes. Child, they say he ain't break nothing in August. They say it was an outbreak, girl. And he had to get some bow tracks or whatever to get rid of that outbreak before he started that good tour. Allegedly. That's what the people were saying. I don't even know if it's true, but that's all what they're alleging. Look at Tanya. I told you Tanya was gonna fall out the bushes by her man, honey. That is her man, honey. She don't play around by her some Nelly. I told you she was coming out the bushes. Look at Tanya. Child. Okay, Tanya, we not gonna fight you about Nelly. He surely is fine though. He surely is fine though. Child. Child. Anyway, we moving forward. In our last story today, I think this is our last story of the day. Let me see. Yeah, I told y'all we didn't have an extensive dossier today. Now, why the hell this heifer is back on my goddamn dossier? Y'all know I can't stand this whore. Oh, dear God. Let me get this over with. Dear God, I'm gonna need a drink after this. He does have little stuff, Gabby. He does. Child, we done seen the Gabby. Girl. You know, you can't have everything. That's what he claimed, Ronald. But that's what we reported at that time. But the last time I know somebody to have neck surgery, they wasn't good in a week. When you have neck surgery, you be out for several weeks. He was like, "Oh, I just have to cancel my first 2 or 3 dates," which was like all in within the span of 2 or 3 days, and I'll be all right next week. We don't buy it. Anyway, let me get through this story because we got a lot of stuff going on that we gotta get back to life. Back to life. Back to reality. So, no, she out of jail, friend. They say she got out a couple weeks ago and they ain't tell nobody. Child, let me read this, friend. Chrisean Rock is hitting back at a lawsuit filed by Tamar Braxton's backup singer earlier this year that accused the reality star of assault. According to documents obtained by sources on Monday, Chrisean has denied all allegations from James Wright Chanel, which included that he suffered, quote, numerous physical injuries, end of quote, and, quote, extreme mental anguish and severe emotional distress, as well as physical pain and suffering, end of quote. According to her, any suffering James had was due to, quote, his own conduct, actions, and or omissions, end of quote. And he therefore can't collect for anything. In January, for those who don't remember, in January, James Wright Chanel filed a criminal case against Chrisean Rock, then followed up a month later with a lawsuit where he said he was sent to the hospital with 2 broken teeth and cuts on his face. And we saw the pictures at that time. His lawyer said, quote, she hit him multiple times in the face for no reason at all. We were surprised that she was able to leave the facility that night. She had on rings that were pretty much equivalent to brass knuckles, end of quote. The woman said she did a goddamn thing. The woman said, I ain't did nothing to that man. Anything, Um, anything that happened to him, what did she say? Her attorney say, they said anything that happened to him was, quote, due to his own conduct, actions, and or omissions, end of quote. This bitch ain't shit. She ain't shit. So everybody in the room lying, right? Everybody lying on you, Chrisean, right? Girl, the bitch ain't shit. Why the fuck y'all let her out of jail? Why is she out? Why are you here? Oh, dear God. I just don't be understanding. And y'all give this woman all types of grace. I don't have time for this whore. I don't have this type of energy for whatever she got going on, y'all. I can't do it. So now the man just making it up. Remember, Tamar Braxton came out and after several weeks, though, having to support James Wright Chanel. Everybody was fucking in the room when you did the shit. We're not making the shit up. No, why is she out? She is a threat to humanity. The woman is a threat to humanity. Dear God above. And that poor child, oh God. The woman has added to the gene pool. If that's not a scary enough notion, I don't know what is. Child. Girl, she ain't shit. She ain't shit. She is a biological weapon. Lord. Like her whole bloodline is a never-ending generational curse. Because I know her mammy ain't shit. She ain't shit. Her mammy ain't shit. God hope that that child is broken from the generational curse that is their DNA. Help us, Father. It's against the law to hit anybody, Ronald, causing them damage to break. We saw the pictures. The man was bleeding and stuff. She broke the man's teeth. That's assault and battery. Might be aggravated assault and battery. I just can't. The fact that y'all are in this chat making excuses for this whore is beyond my level of comprehension. I just can't do this. Let me get the hell out of here. Y'all over here making excuses for the likes of fucking Chrisean Rock, asking me questions about why the fuck this bitch is the way she is. I'm not doing this with y'all. Let me get the hell out of here. I got shit to do. I'm not going to play these games with y'all. I'm not going to have y'all making me mad. Right, a bitch just can't. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I enjoyed y'all, and I thank you all for helping me get my mind off of some stuff. Y'all know I got to go back and deal with all of the things. But I thank y'all for giving me a temporary reprieve from that, getting my mind off of everything that's going on, and helping me regain some sanity. Now I got to go back to what I was dealing with earlier, but that's fine. We built for this. We're gonna do this. I thank you all so much. For those in the members only chat, I'll keep you all updated and posted on what's going on with the family. Absolutely, Mr. Baythang. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Y'all, like I said, pray for Florida tonight. And into tomorrow. It's gonna be a long, rough night for a lot of areas in Florida. It's already starting to get rough right now. So we're definitely praying. Make sure. Yeah, they've already started to receive hurricane force winds in Southeast Florida. There's already 250,000 people without power. Yeah. Storm surge is already up to 3 feet. As of 6 o'clock in Fort Myers, Naples already has 3 feet, and they're saying that Fort Myers could get up to 10 feet of storm surge now. So those are your updates. Yeah. So I'm going to get off of here, text my people. I'm going to try not to call them because I know they don't have power. So I'll just text them and make sure, get, updates by text, make sure they're good, and then try to help them conserve some power. The National Weather Service has also issued an emergency extreme storm surge warning, and the director of the National Weather Service says, quote, I am scared to death of some of these storm surge levels. The values are absolutely dangerous and deadly, end of quote. And that's coming from the director of the National Hurricanes Center and National Weather Service. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Just looking to make sure. Oof. Looking to make sure I missed nothing. All right, y'all. I'm going to get going. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Let me go. It's going to be a long night, but we'll make it through. That's all I got for y'all. Until tomorrow, I will be here tomorrow. Till tomorrow, that's all I got. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.